fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight, it's the Alive Church Gen 6 Xfinity Series. Live Fully Alive. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Jared Carr. We're at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Bristol 200. Jared, the last great Coliseum here this evening.
Yeah, Dean, it's going to be a good race. We're going to transition into nighttime. You know, right now in game about 7:45. By the end of this race, probably 8:45 or 9:30 or so. So it's going to be a little bit cooler as this race goes on. These guys are going to have to keep up with the track conditions.
Well, they are. There's no doubt about that. And these cars, these Xfinity cars, will tend to be fairly tight. Jared, what do you think about here with this car here tonight?
I think you look at this car and you're kind of like, you're going to have to work the track. Like, it is going to be a little bit tight, but this is a track that kind of favors people that are able to move around. And there's a couple different strategies to attacking this track, right, Dean? You can wrap the yellow line. I know that's kind of the traditional way. Me personally, I drive this track nowadays like Dover, where you kind of wash up in the middle, and and I've been doing that years for Dover. Washed up in the middle, kind of diamond these corners off. And you can do the same thing, kind of enter in the middle of the track. That's kind of my favorite groove here at Bristol. Enter in the middle of the track, whip the car down off the corner, especially with the tight step. You really want to try to get that thing on the right rear to help the bottom come in for you. Or you can try to run the high side and wrap the high side the entire time, which is really fast on the long run, in my opinion, if it comes in. We'll have to see if it does.
Yeah, now you're talking, my jam, so to speak. Jared, that middle entry, low off, that thing's paid dividends over time here at Bristol. We'll see tonight, though. The high line, still kind of waiting for the high line to come back, but it can be prevalent in traffic, so we'll see how that all plays out. Talking about points, still don't have the points in the system quite yet. Jared, do you have an update on our current championship situation?
Yeah, if we look at the point standings coming into tonight, Bryce Reiner has a thick lead in this series right now, 41 points. I mean, that's a pretty big one. And then James Hebert in second. He is just 5 points ahead of Tony Ratliff and George Leal, Adam Recker, Darren Bruce, Edward Kane, Jason Jackson, Beller, and Lance Ripka make up your top 10. Ripka is actually 1 point ahead of Rachel Hunt in 11th, then Brian Helm, Sheffield, Kulikowski, and Todd Gilly, your top 15, with Greg Ratliff sitting outside the top 15 in points, with Leal, Jason Spear, Whitford, and Adam Newton making up your top 20, Dean.
Okay, so we got ourselves a little bit of a night tonight, like an opportunity, Jared, here for someone to make up some time as we get into tonight's starting grid, and it is Adam Recker on the point. So Recker been hot lately, his time a 14.835. It's Logan Joyner started on the outside of row number 1. Greg and Tony Ratliff will be featured in row 2. It's Otto Viani and Hebert in row 3. Jackson and Reiner in row number 4. Williams and Jason Spear will be the top 10. In 11th, you got Darren Bruce. And on the outside of Bruce, I think I missed it. I think it was Eric Beller. Hunt and Brantley in row 7. Rincon and Ashley row 8. It's Kane, Gilly, Valley, Kulikowski, Torgerson, Musial, Herb Ashley, Mickey Spear, and you've still got Eric Whiting inching around, the anticipation coming, and it's always important these first couple laps here, a lot of side-by-side action. Pace cars off, we're green flag racing. Logan Joyner on the outside, a good start. Recker sleeping a little bit.
Recker doing a good job, but the high side's going to have that momentum off too, but Joyner slides up just a little bit into the wall, and Tony Ratliff coming out of nowhere, he's riding the wall, hit the wall a couple times in 3 and 4. That's going to open the door for Greg to get by.
Yeah, Tony up there struggling into the wall. Looks like he's found it, though. Got his momentum back, and he's coming back.
Tony doing a good job, and he's already up on that high side, doing some work. Now he's going to drop to the bottom. The next guy on the high side is James A. Bear, who's second in points. Mickey Spear coming out of the pits right in the middle of this field. That's going to be something they're going to have to work around here, Dean.
Yeah, that's not a good place to come out.
Oh,
Reiner gets jammed up. So, wow. Onto the track, Mickey Spear there right in front of Reiner. That's going to separate Reiner and Bruce from the field. So, wow, they got work to do here early on.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I don't know the circumstance, and Gilly almost got in the back of Mickey Spear deep back, and Mickey is having a hard time trying to cycle in. Everybody flying by on the bottom, and he gets into somebody.
Yep, Mickey, I don't know if he caused it, but the 47 involved a Royce Valley there, and we got ourselves a little pile up down here. My goodness, the Looney Tunes machine trying to get spun up and going. Disaster here early.
Yeah, and looking back, it doesn't look like, I think Mickey was on the outside, didn't move, but looked like the 47 might have thought he was cleared and just came up just a little bit too soon, and that starts the wreck right in front of Troy Torgerson, who gets a little damage. It's tough. I mean, you're a lap car, you're trying to get out of the way, but sometimes it's better to try to race your way into the field and let them pass you naturally than trying to be slow and let people go by. Good intentions, but a bad end result.
Yeah, we've seen this just last week. One of these races, someone doing the exact same thing, trying to be nice, trying to let people by, and it just caused a big jam up on pit road. Dibble's going to come in here. So Dibble takes the McDonald's machine onto pit road.
Yeah, now looking at Troy Torgerson, who was the first guy in that wreck, I think he actually got away pretty good, Dean, without any damage. A little bit on the right rear, but I mean, at Bristol, I don't think that's going to be too bad. But I will tell you this, after running some races at the B car and the truck this week and the officials, this car there's an aero difference at Bristol that I don't know if I've ever experienced. And I don't know how to explain it, but I do think even little damage has to be examined in these cars a little bit more, because I was wrecking loose after just getting some front end damage this week, Dean. I mean, I wrecked it on my own. It was so loose, and I've never had that happen. So these guys are going to have to be aware of that.
Well, I've experienced it over time. Different tracks seem to have some kind of different damage to them. I mean, if I remember correctly, maybe Texas, brushing the wall on entry, just barely brushing it. Car was never the same the rest of the run. So guys, like you said, got to examine this very, very closely. Perhaps get the old duct tape out.
Yeah, Barabond, whatever you want to call it, but these guys lining up to go again, and we only have lost Royce Valley, and Eric Whiting also has not taken the field either. Both those drivers 4 laps down with heavy damage. Royce has retired from the event, though.
Well, that's a shame. Royce out. We're back going, ready to get the green flag. Wrecker this time down and away, a good start.
Yeah, Wrecker gets to control that pace there, so he's able to get away pretty well. Everybody else single file or double file behind him as Greg Ratliff passes Tony Ratliff and Klaus Williams to the high side.
Klaus Williams up top, getting a little speed there. He's going to go right by Tony Ratliff. He's going to look to do the same to Greg here. Greg's got to be careful, and he stays low. So Bruce moves up there as well. Williams and Bruce rocking the high side, paying early dividends here.
Klaus really wrapping the high side the way I like to do it here. Get those right sides up against that wall on the middle of the corner and then cut down. Now he's kind of running that middle high line there, and he's getting a good run off the corner. Now Darren Bruce is going to follow him through, but Greg Ratliff, Bruce hits the wall.
Bruce with a very strange thing happening to the car there. You can see it snap on him towards the wall, Jared. What an odd event there.
Yeah, I think that's one of those times where he might have just gotten it down too hard on the right rear. That can happen, and he overloaded the right rear, and that thing just snapped on him. Or he could have overloaded the fronts somehow there. It's very possible either way, but man, Darren Bruce did a good job not getting taking out more people or causing a caution there. He's going to be okay and probably fine, no worse for the wear.
Well, I don't know about no worse for the wear. Some damage on the 15 there, and the damaged psyche perhaps, as I believe he just hit the wall a second time. So Bruce struggling out here. The front end on one corner, the rear end on the other. The 15 back in 11th, struggling. Out front, Wrecker doing a nice job pulling away from Logan Joyner. You got Claus Williams in third. It's Greg Ratliff and Tony Ratliff in the top 5.
Jason Brantley got very loose in front of Paul K. Travis and Troy Torgerson back there. Everybody got straightened out pretty well, but these guys back here, Dean, they are getting on to about a quarter of a lap down already. So these guys are going to have to pick up the pace, find some pace here, Dean. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble here in the next 15 laps.
Definitely could be trouble. Oh, and Torgerson is loose. Ashley pushes him around. Caution comes out. Paul K. spinning as well. Or no, that was not Paul K. Travis. That was the Toad Man, Todd Gilly, losing it secondarily. The leader's coming on through. Torgerson trying to find his way down the track. He will. Tragedy striking again at the Coliseum.
Yeah, it looks like some damage to 62 on the front end got into Torgerson after he had slid and locked it up a little bit there. But that's what I'm talking about, Dean. I think that damage that he didn't get fixed might have been part of that problem, but I don't know that for sure. But it definitely is something that you have to pay attention at this track now. It just seems like it's very sensitive to any kind of aero damage.
Yeah, very strange there. That was on entry there. That car just came around on him. Logan Joyner going to be the only car coming in out of our top cars. He heads down pit road. Others coming in, Beller, Bruce, and Spear.
I don't like this call for Joyner. I think this is too early. You're going to have to work your way through a lot of traffic. There's a lot of guys staying out. We got Gilly and Kulikowski, the 93 all staying out here. But I do like the call for some of these guys in the middle of the pack. Beller, Bruce, he hit the wall. Go in, check your damage out. These guys here, I think that's not a bad call to come in.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Anybody, towards the bottom half of the group, not a bad call. Top half, I don't know if you want to be back in this traffic, Jared.
Yeah, and that's what that's the big thing for me is, with Logan Joyner, right? He came in the pits second place. I mean, I think that's a really early time to pit. I mean, you haven't really used any of the tires yet, but we'll see how it pays off. If we get a green flag run, he might be very quick on it.
Yeah, and chances if there's a wreck, you're coming towards it are very high now, as he's showing in 18th position. So 2 early wrecks here. We also had that Bruce incident where he went up into the wall, and Jared, I mean, that kind of stuff from the car is so odd. Is that setup based, or what is that makes you kind of jerk to the right into the wall?
Yeah, Dean, you kind of were a little bit garbled there, but I think I got the gist of it. But basically, it could have been just overloading the tires there. They could have made that happen.
All right, very interesting. Tough here tonight at the Coliseum. Williams and Wrecker, the Ratliffs, second and third. Wrecker with a good start, but Claus up high, staying with them. Looking to get some big momentum on that high side.
Good job by Claus there. The Ratliffs are trailing behind, but don't look now. That 53 machine, Michael Ottaviani, having a good run here already, trying to poke his nose into the battle for third position underneath Tony Ratliff. But don't look now as James A. Bear starting to get involved as well.
Yeah, that high line prevailing early, that's pretty common. Guys on the bottom being cautious. Can't overdrive it down there. The high line driving right around. Tony Ratliff grabs a spot. A. Bear looks to fill the gap. He will. Up front.
Oh, crashing in the back. Big crash in the back. I don't know who that was, Dean, but we're staying green. might have been Jason Spear.
So Spear is in the pits. I don't know. Let's get a replay and see what happened. Here is the 83, and the 34 comes underneath them. No room given. Bang, bang, and into the wall he goes. So I don't know, Jared. Doesn't look like the 83 was expecting that move. Didn't give any room there. Hard to say for sure.
The yellow flag is down.
And now we're under yellow as Torgerson has got himself into something. And we'll get a replay on that.
Looks like Troy just looped it again. Wow.
So Troy coming out of the corner, all is fine. The 82 up high on him. And that car was unstable, under braking, and he just looped it around. So that car not handling well. Torgerson down pit road.
Yeah, I think he has damage. I just don't think he knows the extent of it, and it's caused him to loop around a couple times here. So he's on pit road. But yeah, with Jason Spear, I'm not sure. That was very weird. I mean, he kind of ran the bottom on the straightaway, and yeah, that creates some conflict there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he didn't know he was there, or he was trying to block or what, but he just did not filter up the track whatsoever there, Jared.
Yeah, and early in the race, still a lot of time left to go, but Torgerson has taken his car to the garage. He's calling it a night. So a tough break for the 98 machine or the 89 machine here tonight. But right now, Dean, you look.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Mickey Spear gained the lucky dog as well here.
All right, so Mickey will get his lap back. Yeah, just watching these cars out here, it seems like we got a bit of a problem here with the setup, Jared. I mean, we've seen Bruce do something uncharacteristic. You say overloading the tires or whatever. Torgerson, I mean, these are top-notch drivers. What is going on here tonight?
Well, I think it's a combination, right? I mean, I think that, with the fixed setup league, if the conditions aren't the same as, the fixed setups are built in, you're going to have a difference, right? And if you're not up to date on what that difference is going to be, you could be expecting one thing and getting another thing. If you practiced officials or something like that this week. So, I didn't try the setup per se here at night. I tried it in the daytime when the race was. So I think that could be some of it. The other part of it is, I think there's some damage maybe, not for Darren Bruce, but for Troy, him having a little bit of damage, I don't think was helping his situation. He seemed to be fine at the beginning of the race. So I think he was just missing some aero that car desperately needed.
All right, interesting conditions at the Coliseum. Lap 34 of 200. We're under caution number 3 here. It's still Adam Recker. Could this be the night that Recker gets out here and gets that victory? Klaus Williams on the high side. Bear and Ratliff in row 2. Otto Viani and Greg Ratliff in row number 3.
Green, green, green.
Green flag down and away. Another great start by Recker.
Fantastic start by Adam Recker. I mean, unbelievable start there. A little slow toward the back, but everybody getting out. Mickey Spear is going to come out again right in front of the leaders.
All right, well, if you don't succeed the first time, try again.
And I do want to make clear, I'm not ragging on Mickey or anything like that. It's bad timing. I mean, that's really all it is. It's you're out here to race, and that's where you came out of the field. I don't know how that happened this time, but definitely not trying to take any shots at Mickey as we got change for the lead. Klaus Williams battling on the high side with Recker.
All right, big battle up front. Williams a little yawn out, but the car's stable. He'll take the lead. So the 16, your new race leader.
Klaus Williams, Dean, he got his first Xfinity Series win. Very good in the Truck Series here at RGR. If you guys watch that on Thursdays, I mean, he is very good there. But Dean, he didn't get his first Xfinity win until late last year in December in the Winter Series, the Winter Heat. And here he is tonight leading some laps at one of the toughest tracks we're going to race all season.
Looking on one of our big movers here, Paul Travis Sr., In the 88, the Alive Church Machine, he's up 19 spots, Jared, here on lap 41.
Yeah, that's a great job by Paul K. I mean, he started in the depths of the field. Now, there has been some pit stops that have kind of shaken this field up a little bit, but not that much. Paul K's gained a good majority of those on merit here tonight, so he's got a car that's working and hooked up here tonight at Bristol.
All right, back up front. Claus leading the way. Wrecker hanging in. Two guys running the track way different, and I love this. We'll see who pays off on the long run. A-Bear goes down the track to try and attack Tony Ratliff. Nothing doing there. They get back lined up. A little further back, Reiner ripping the high side. He moves up into fifth.
Yeah, big battles. Really, the top five have kind of spread out. That's Williams, Williams, Wrecker, Tony Ratliff, A-Bear, and Bryce Reiner there. The battle really starts around sixth place. Greg Ratliff trying to get a good run, trying to get his season righted. Dean here, he hasn't had a great season this year again, and we've talked about in the booth because Greg's a great driver. He just hasn't had the luck, and he hasn't had the race cars behind him.
Let's get a look and see what happened to Kulikowski here as I get into the replay. Something wrong with the 7. You see him here, and he comes off the corner. Mickey Spear in front of him. He gets underneath them, and he just breaks loose again. So breaks loose, heads towards pit road, managed to avoid it. He's back and back racing.
There you go. Big battle back here. George Racone making some moves up. He's going to pass Ottaviani on the high side and set his sights on Greg Ratliff.
Yeah,
in a battle for 7th position.
Jared. He's up 7 spots, and the car looks stable, so he's agreeing with this setup, perhaps.
Yeah, Paul K up 20. Then you have our race leader, Klaus Williams. He's up 8, and then our third highest gainer right now is George Racone up 7.
So
our fourth highest gainer is Robert LaPrime. He's up 8 spots, starts second to last on the field, so he's up into 19th. Still on the lead lap, so a good run there for Robert in the 50.
Yeah, the Looney Tunes machine got a little crinkled up front end from earlier on, but still persevering and picking up spots as he goes. And Cone did complete that pass, so the 28 looking pretty stout. But out front, Klaus Williams still leading. Wrecker chasing. Right in front of them, it's Spear and Kulikowski, and this could be dangerous. Looks like they get it sorted out.
It did look like there's some contact, Dean, between those two. You called out at the same time, and here comes the 50 machine heading onto pit road, hits the barrels. He hits the barrels coming on pit road. That will not bring out a caution, but heavy damage to the 50.
My goodness. So our leaders take to the bottom to get around Kulikowski here. They're going to do that, I believe, so both of them successfully get through there.
We were just talking about Robert LaPrime, and unfortunately, I don't know what is going on there, but he is backing down pit road currently. So I don't know what happens going on with Robert, but I don't think the setup is working for him.
Yeah, I think he must have broke loose, Jared. I can't see him trying to make a pit stop. Probably broke loose in the corner, got into those barrels, and now he's trying to make a stop or something. Backwards, apparently. So Wrecker hanging in here on the bottom. Behind these guys, you got Tony Ratliff now working on Kulikowski as they try to get through here. And it looks like Kulikowski has found his rhythm and his speed, so it's not going to be easy here for these guys.
No, it's not. And, the lap cars, it is tough being a lap car here. I want to make that abundantly clear. It is hard because at some point in time, you're going to kind of find speed. And Kulikowski has disappeared, and that is never a comforting feeling when you've disappeared in front of leaders.
Yeah, he has vanished. Does not look like he's coming back. So Kulikowski with internet issues to go along with some others.
Prime has retired from the race. We're down 3 from this race, Dean. That'll leave us with 25. George Dibble been on the pits for 13 minutes and Jason Spear for 10, but they are not officially retired from the race yet. I don't know if they plan on returning.
Back here around Bryce Reiner, Tony Ratliff, and Paul Travis coming into the picture. They're chasing a bear here. Reiner has moved up to the high side, and that'll take him right around Tony Ratliff. So Reiner, for moving up the track and finding speed, all of a sudden he's on the move.
Yeah, we're looking at lap times, Dean. 9:26 for Williams, 9:17 for Wrecker. A-Bear at 8:99. Reiner a 7:11, but Bryce Reiner has to get around James A-Bear. And Dean, you know, one thing I'll tell you about A-Bear, we've been covering for a couple years now, and he is a good driver, but boy, he is a tough pass in this league, Dean. And I think Reiner's going to have his hands full trying to make a move on him.
Well, he is, and now he gave the high side to A-Bear, or A-Bear took the high side. Now it's going to be really tough here. Reiner knows it. He's going to try and get this done quickly. Now, traditionally, here at Bristol, you could be looking at a 10-lap pass. I mean, you could work a car that long.
Absolutely, especially on the bottom, because the bottom, you don't have the momentum, right? Momentum is such a massive thing, and we got a caution. It is back with Greg Ratliff. Greg Ratliff involved. I think it was around him
Ratliff
anyway.
Was definitely involved. Not sure to what extent. We'll see if we can find it here. So here is Greg Ratliff trying to go down to the bottom. All seems okay. Not sure who that is in front. Oh, and he just come in. Jackson was underneath him. We'll back that up. So they go down into the corner. Looks like Greg tries to slow down for the car in front of him. And Jason Jackson takes advantage. He pulls down the track, gets underneath of Greg. Greg does not know he's there. He's coming in. Contact made. Around goes to 5. The 86 drifts a little bit, but manages to save it. My goodness.
Yeah,
Looks like nobody else involved here.
Yeah, I'll be honest, and maybe brutally so. I absolutely hate when people try to make a pass on the entry of the corner. Yeah, I understand that Greg was a little bit slow there, but there was no time for Greg to react, and I got taken out in the truck race in the exact same manner as Greg did.
Well, I
was
think
not.
What you're referring to is a traditional dive bomb, which that was pretty close to being that. But you know, the circumstances go both ways, right? You got momentum. The car checks up in front of you. You got to put it somewhere. Tough situation. But there is a rule here, isn't there, Jared? I mean, as far as whether you have position or not, as Darren Bruce, still on the track, was unsure to pit. Looks like he's coming in now. Off of pit road, Williams beats Wrecker off of pit road. I mean, the rule being, if you got a quarter panel, right? If you got your nose up a quarter panel on the guy before the corner.
Right, exactly. That is the rule. That's the standard. I think that standard is dying, especially on the service, as the service continues to get worse and worse every day. But that's not here or there. Not in this situation, you know. I mean, official racing, but you know, I think that there is a standard where you have to be alongside somebody well before the entry when they start making the turn, because there was no way for Greg to know that he was there before he started turning. So
no, and it's just a no-win situation for him. I agree with your assessment there, but I also want to say Jason Jackson, he's in a precarious spot too. He's just trying to put his car somewhere without hitting anybody, and unfortunately, it is what it is at this point. We're going back green. Williams and Wrecker, Reiner and A-Bear. Big beneficiary of these wrecks tonight, Bryce Reiner, Batman as we call him, has moved up to third. He's looking for second underneath of Claus Williams.
Yeah, and Wrecker, another great start. Can Claus Williams do anything with Reiner? I'll tell you what was beneficiary is Reiner didn't have to get around James A-Bear. He passed him on pit road, so he didn't have to work him over, because those guys were battling for at least 5 laps, and still no victor in that battle. before the caution came out.
All right, all settled up front. Guys looking good up here. Go a little further back and check around. There is Jason Jackson. He is battling Doc Ock there, Jared.
Doc Ott.
Doc
Mr.
Ock.
Mr. Ott.
Oh, and he's loose.
Oh,
I
he's
called
loose.
his name. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. He gathers it up. Michael Ottoviani in the 53. He saved that machine. He'll lose about 10 spots in the process.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, he looked like he just clipped the apron, and that'll send you around every time, Dean, on exit especially. You just get the throttle down, clip that apron, it'll loosen you up in a bad way, and he does lose 6 spots, 7 spots, maybe 8th spot right here off the corners. Paul Kay gets a run.
As Adam Record has set the fastest lap of the race, our race leader. Paul Travis going around the outside here. He's going to pick up, looks like 14th position. So Paul Kay continues racing strong. He had pitted at some point. There's our leader. Look back to A. Bear right in front of Tony Ratliff and Rincon, now in 6th position.
Darren Bruce has retired from the race. I don't think he was involved in a wreck, but he has taken the car to the garage. So tough break for Darren. I'm not sure what happened there with the machine.
You're not really surprised. Didn't look like his car was agreeing with them. He had a little bit of damage on the front and the rear, so yeah, he'll call it a night. Joyner and Hunt just set their best laps of the race. They're currently in 8th and 9th position. Joyner working on Jackson.
Yeah, Joyner started second, had started to battle for the lead, then pitted on our first caution kind of oddly, and he's kind of been stuck on that strategy where he hasn't been able to make it work, and now he's trying to move forward, but gets around Jackson. And I do want to kind of wrap up with Jackson. Definitely, I don't think he's a bad driver. I don't think he's a dirty driver or anything like that. I just think it was an ill-advised move. We all make him. I'm not absolved from it. So there you go. We have a call.
Claus Williams, our leader, around. So Claus Williams was out in front, has spun that machine, lost it, and will bring out another caution here on lap 81. Let's get a look at it.
I think he got loose by himself. He was actually second, Dean, and I think Bryce Reiner might have gotten a little bit of it at the very end, tried to stay off of him.
Well, Jared, what I'm noticing is he's riding the wall here. I don't know what corner we're in, but he hits the wall on exit. This is the backstretch, heading down into 3. Regrouping from that is when he loops it. So you can go all the way back to 1 and 2 where he kind of hit the wall, and that's where it all began, shifting perhaps his mental focus a little bit.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, but that's a lazy spin, if you will. Like, just looked like the car wasn't, loaded up right. I don't know how to really explain that, but if you've driven the cars, you kind of know what I mean, where it just kind of goes in this sloppy little spin. Luckily, nobody really getting in any damage. Reiner might have a little bit, but I think he'll be okay.
All right, so early carnage here tonight. Reiner goes to pit road, so he worked so hard to get up here, Jared, and now he's on pit road. Yeah,
I think it's a good call for him. Double check, make sure you don't have massive damage or anything like that on the car, because you definitely don't want, aero issues at this track. Crazy as that sounds, but.
All right, also on pit road, you got Claus Williams, Michael Ottoviani. Looks like Spear and Kulikowski are in. It's been a bit of a strange race here tonight, Jared.
Well, I think it has been strange. I wouldn't say it's like an abnormal Bristol race by any means, but I'll tell you, I don't really know who the clear-cut contender is. We've seen Record dominate for sections. We've seen Claus Williams dominate for sections. We've seen, Joyner and Reiner look fast, but not really be able to lead. And we have Tony Ratliff that's been consistently 3rd or 4th the entire night. So I think there's a lot of things that we still don't even know, and we're almost halfway in this race, Dean.
Yeah, that is the interesting thing. You're absolutely correct. We could not pick out who the dominant car is at this point. Now, Wrecker has been up front all night. He's got to be your early favorite. But Rincon sitting in fourth has looked good. Others up here, Bear, Tony Ratliff, they've looked good. So it's very, very interesting to say the least. Others are creeping into the picture. Jackson, Joyner, Beller, they're all up there. Hunt's up there.
Pace car off now too, Dean.
Green flag, green
Green
flag.
flag down and away. Wrecker with another great launch. He'll take the angle into the corner. Him and Bear getting away. Joyner and Rincon going at it a little bit. Joyner wins that battle.
Yeah, top 6 single file very quickly, Dean. Jason Jackson there. The first battle is Beller and Hunt for 7th position.
Yeah, and Beller got the preferred line on the high side by-side action. That's where you want to be. Beller scrapes the wall.
And Rachel, Dean, we haven't talked a lot about her tonight, but she is very good at Bristol traditionally. This is a track that she has done very well at in the past. In other leagues, official races, the track that she likes, I feel like, anyway. She'll probably tell me I'm wrong, I don't know, but I know she's ran good here in the past, and she's looking really good right now, too.
Yeah, she just overpowered Beller, and that was from the low side, Jared, so the one car looks stout. Beller fading a little bit. Now in the grass with Greg Ratliff, Paul Travis, who's fighting with Brantley as the two alive church machines go side by side.
Beller and Greg Ratliff going out. Beller loose in the middle of the corner, Dean. Opens the door for Greg Ratliff to get through. Brantley underneath the 62 machine of Tom Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley ripping the high side coming through there, so Tom Ashley looking good. The Toad Man's up there coming around. And back there as well, Claus Williams, who was leading just moments ago, along with the 53 of Michael Ottoviani.
And Bryce Reiner, too, Dean. These are 3 fast cars. Oh, and Gilly's
the Toad Man's got into Reiner!
Yellow flag.
Oh, boy! So the Toad Man and Reiner come together.
Wow. Yeah, looked like Gilly just got a little bit loose there, and almost, Reiner was able to stay out of it. Just barely got clipped.
And you seen there the bobble with the correction. And there's the carnage. It looks like a lot of people escaped there. No damage. Wow. So under caution again. That might be 7 here this evening. Bristol biting people tonight. Someone released the lions here at the Coliseum. So who's going to pit now?
Well, I think you're Reiner. You got to pit. But, that's the problem. Reiner and Williams, they both got, Reiner got that little bit of damage off the front end when Williams spun in second there. And he got mired back in traffic, and now he's kind of stuck in traffic. And this race is kind of unround for Reiner here out of nowhere. And that's, he's still got a long way to go. We're not even halfway yet. But you got to start thinking like, man, this is just not my night.
Well, we've thought that, right? We said about it, pitting, the loss of track position, Jared, you don't want to be back there. You can get collected. One guy, I believe, who did go back there early on was a 34 Logan Joyner. He's back to 4th, so it's kind of worked out for him, I believe.
Yeah, he has done a good job getting through the field a little bit. But the thing I'm more interested in is to see how these guys can work the traffic. And also how can Logan Joyner get back up there? He hasn't been in second place since the drop of the green flag. He's either led or he's been out of the top 10. So it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of flips up.
It really is. We got guys, so lap 67 for most. Then you got Reiner on lap 94 along with Beller and Brantley. So those 3 going to have a tire advantage. Not sure how much it'll play. Approaching the halfway mark here, Jared.
Yeah, and I still think it's anybody's race, kind of like we were talking about earlier.
Go over to YouTube and we see some people out there. Thank you for being here. Love you out here rooting on your people.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag, down and away. So Wrecker again gets out there. Joyner hooking the high side. He'll get to the outside of James Bear. Logan Joyner showing speed here.
3 wide, a little bit further back. Tom Ashley gets himself through that. Luckily, he probably didn't want to be in that middle, but everybody else getting single file over. Joyner to the high side on Wrecker. Wrecker couldn't close the door in time. Joyner to the lead.
Man, he is absolutely flying, Jared. From third to the lead in 1 lap. The 34, doing what he does. He's showing great short run speed. Can he maintain it here?
Everybody else single file, nobody really looking, but Ottaviani underneath of Tom Ashley. Right and behind them is Klaus Williams and Bryce Reiner, who both have shown speed here tonight, but they're boxed in. Rachel Hunt just ahead of this battle as well.
Klaus Williams goes to the high side here. He'll get around Ottaviani eventually, I do believe.
Oh, and a little bit loose in front of him there, Tom Ashley. Williams going to do the over-under. He's going to go underneath Tom in the middle of the corner. A little bit of a battle ensuing there. A little bit tight on the quarter panel there. Ricone has moved up to the high side, trying to make a run on Tony Ratliff.
Oh, no! Ashley into the wall, comes down, hits Williams. They hold it together. Williams gets the spot. Reiner files right in behind Ashley.
Yeah, Reiner now he's stuck. He can't get around Ottaviani on the outside. He does clear him. Does he have enough space to make a move? He does get underneath Tom Ashley there on an aggressive move. Barrett to the high side around Tony Ratliff for third.
So this is Tony coming by Bear, actually, I think. So Tony fighting for third here on the bottom, Jared. It looks like Bear are going to hold him off.
And the top two starting to scoot away a little bit, but Wrecker starting to reel in Logan Joyner just a click every lap. And as that's going on, big gaggle back here. Paul K just got through it. Holy cow. I don't know how there wasn't a wreck, but everybody stays clean.
All right. Paul is a lap down right now after that pit stop. There's a Toad Man, the tail end of the lead lap. Logan Joyner, your leader. Wrecker hanging right with him, perhaps running him down now. And maybe the conservative approach starting to pay off as the 11 coming back.
Well, I talked about this a couple weeks ago when Adam Wrecker was up in the front and was leading some laps and had an opportunity at the end of the race. How bad do you want your first RGR win, Dean? I mean, Adam Wrecker hasn't won in 40 races in the Xfinity Series over the last year. I haven't gone back further, but I mean, he has never won in this series. Period. We do know that. How bad do you think Wrecker wants this thing tonight?
Well, I think the more we talk about it, the more he wants it, Jared. I mean, we've been telling him about it, and it's not trying to push him to do something. We're just so impressed. He's been hanging around the top 3 forever now. It's time, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. Great driver. Definitely deserves to get a win for sure. If you can say that, it's there's a lot of really good drivers in this league, and it's going to be tough to do it. Rachel Hunt riding the wall in 1 and 2. Couldn't quite get a move on Jackson. Jackson put a little bit of a block on Rachel. Rachel had to check up. That's going to open the door for Bryce Reiner on the bottom.
And Rachel touched the wall there, and that made her think twice about what's going on. Reiner looking to capitalize. Can't quite do it yet.
And Klaus has gotten cycled behind Bryce Reiner now. So that was something that I missed, trying to battle for that. But the battle for the lead is heated up as Wrecker to the high side around Logan Joyner. Can he clear him? Not quite yet.
So the 11 lets Joyner go and then runs him down and takes back his lead. The 11 back out front.
Bear, who just got around Tony Ratliff for third, is now going to set his sights 3 wide. Back here is Jackson, very loose in the middle. Reiner squeezes by, but Williams hits the wall trying to avoid the sliding Jackson.
So Jackson continues to struggle. A lot of these cars looking unstable here as they try to deal with the monster here tonight. Well, the last great Coliseum, actually.
Yeah, I think this track is kind of more of the monster tonight. The track is being more of the problem than the drivers, right? I mean, I don't think there's really been a lot of driver-on-driver accidents. It's been mostly like a guy sliding, spinning out, things like that have happened more than anything else tonight.
Absolutely.
Joyner has formed a queue behind him, Dean. A. Bear is behind him. Tony Ratliff, Racone, Rachel Hunt, Reiner, Williams, and Jackson hard on the wall in turn 1 and 2. I don't know what is going on with the 86, but that car is gone downhill very quickly, Dean.
So Jackson still fading. Brantley going by. Out front, A-Bear trying to run, or Joyner trying to run down Wrecker, I guess. A-Bear in third. Tony Ratliff, Rincon trying to hang on to fifth with Reiner underneath them. So
Reiner trying to battle.
He's coming forward. Watch out for the 14, Jared. If he can get clear here, watch out.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, now he's starting to get to the top end of the business end of the field, and it's going to be harder and harder every position. Racone not letting him get by, not letting him get clear, and now Klaus Williams is back in the picture. But all while this is going on, Wrecker has opened up almost a second-and-a-half lead to second place. It's 1.7 seconds at the line. Racone on the outside of Reiner, and A. Bear loose on the outside. Ratliff going to try to take his position back.
So A. Bear gets back around Tony Ratliff. Now Reiner finds himself pinned down on the bottom. Rincon still fighting him on the outside. So it's just so tough out there. A. Bear into the wall.
Second to 11th place, Jason Brantley, is only 1.5 seconds, Dean. I mean, that is a gaggle of cars at Bristol. This is a massive amount of cars in that second group, led by Jason Jackson and Edward Kane, is catching this group, and Adam Wrecker is pulling away from this group at the same time. I mean, this is insane what is going on right now.
Yeah,
Kulikowski on pit road.
Kulikowski comes in. Things are heating up all over the track. Logan Joyner, something happened with him. He's way low on the track. Now A. Bear around, Tony Ratliff around. So Joyner must have broke loose there. He's going to lose 3 spots here, if not more.
Oh, Taviani got almost in the back of Greg Ratliff at the end of this pack. That's allowed Jason Brantley to get by both of them, so move Brantley up inside the top 10. What a run by Jason Brantley tonight. Probably one of his best.
So somehow, some way, Reiner moved his way up to third. A-Bear up to second. He's 2.7 seconds behind our race leader, who's starting to move on lap traffic. Mickey Spear back there.
Oh my goodness, 3 wide back here. Brantley backs out the last second with Racone and Hunt. I mean, this is getting wild in the middle pack. Still 3 wide. Racone, Taviani in the back of Ratliff. Ratliff holds on to it, sliding on the apron, slides the car, holds on to it. My goodness, everything was checking up, and Greg Ratliff is the guy that finds the wrong end of it, Dean, out of everybody.
One of those cars, I think it was Rincon, was really slow. Something wrong with the 28 machine. You see him, Kane coming underneath and going around. So the 28, he looked so good early, said he was stable. No more, Jared.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I think he checked up, and Ratliff checked up, and Ottaviani just barely got in the back of him. But what a job by Greg to hold on to that thing. But he loses all the way from 7th place to 15th. That is a heartbreak for Greg Ratliff.
Truly it is. Klaus Williams trying to power on the high side and get a big run on the 6. And look at that corner. Driving right around Tony Ratliff. Klaus Williams finding speed on the high side. Looks like the low side is going away, Jared.
Joyner very loose in front of Rachel Hunt. Rachel's going to have to take a move underneath of him. And Rachel clears him. Good job there. I didn't think she was going to be able to there.
So Tony Ratliff falling. Brantley now on the bottom trying to work through and get by the 6. He will. Something off on Tony Ratliff's machine. So these machines are coming and going. The only stable one, Radham Wrecker, now with a 2.4 second lead.
And I want to shout out Jason Brantley. He's not finished in the top 10 except one time, and it was the 5th place at Talladega back in December in this series, Dean, since he's joined. So he's never finished in the top 10. This is a massive night for Jason Brantley, who is now 5th place on merit tonight.
Yeah, and right in front of them, Bear and Williams. So when you're in this position, it's time to just take it easy and wait for things to sort out. He goes to the high side. Williams around Bear. Now Brantley making the moves, moving Brantley up to 4th, Jared.
Yeah, Brantley's previous best finish at a non-plate track, 12th place at Iowa, and that was it, Dean. I mean, that is his kind of season, his kind of career here. He's found himself mid-pack, but not tonight as he is battling for a podium position. What a job by Jason Brantley. Still got 63 laps to go, though.
Brantley now takes a peek underneath the Claus Williams. So Brantley not done yet, and he's riding that kind of what you described, almost diamond in these corners. I would call it almost like overdrive and entry on purpose, Jared.
Yeah, and I that's deep diamond, or however you want to look at it, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the kind of line I like here because it gives you enough on the front and enough on the rear, and you're able to kind of make some moves with that. But right now he's kind of got a little bit of an error issue there. He's finding. What I like about Brantley is, and we've seen it, he is really adapting to this track. He's finding some grooves to run in now. Right now, he is wrapping the bottom. He's changed up his line the last few laps, Dean. And then in 1 and 2, he's kind of diamond in the corner, seeing if that works. And then 3 and 4, he'll go back to running a little bit lower. And Klaus Williams now aero blocking a little bit here.
He is, but Brantley looking good. Looks like he's going to get up here and eventually work his way past Williams. He comes underneath. They go side by side down into 3.
Brantley side by side. He's going to clear him on the bottom. What a job by Jason Brantley, up to a podium position for the 3 car.
Amazing drive. Great job by the 3. He's looking stout. Up ahead of him, Bryce Reiner in 2nd. He's narrowing down the gap. The gap under 2 seconds to our race leader, Adam Wrecker.
Yeah, and Reiner is just gaining just a little bit. Now he lost a little bit of time getting around the 50, I'm not sure who that is, actually. 63 of Herb Ashley, I believe, maybe the red car.
Yes.
So he lost a little time there. The gap is about 2 seconds now.
All right.
Musial in the wall by Bear. Everybody gets by cleanly.
Bear right behind Williams. That's 4th and 5th. Ottaviani persevering in 6th here, along with Tony Ratliff right behind him. And then Rachel Hunt sitting in 8th position. Edward Kane's appeared in the top 10 too.
Absolutely. Edward Kane doing a great job. I was about to talk about Michael Ottaviani. He is the 2nd quickest driver on the track right now, Dean. The fastest is Jason Brantley. Well, not this last lap. He was the 3rd quickest that lap. But the lap before that, he was the fastest driver on the track. So Jason Brantley has found some speed, and Michael Ottaviani have both found a little bit of speed here, Dean. They are moving forward.
Yeah, awesome to see out here. So 53 looking stout. We're coming up to 50 laps remaining in this race.
Bryce Reiner, very loose off of turn 2, Dean. He almost wrecked that car. I mean, it was unreal how loose that machine was.
See Bear going underneath Herb Ashley. So Herb Ashley struggling up there. Very slow on the high side. Cars all coming underneath them. Hunt now takes underneath. And that 63 is all kinds of jacked up, Jared. You look at that front end, it does not look pretty.
Yeah, he was involved in an early wreck. I think he's just kind of logging some laps, getting some experience here. But he is the first car 1 lap down, so still an opportunity to get repairs done and get back out, maybe a top 15 finish here tonight.
Ottaviani down low, Williams up high. We head on board with the 53. You see him
Yeah,
wrapping this yellow line, Jared.
Yeah, he is really. I mean, I've been watching from the sky camera, or one of the sky cameras that we have, and he is really the only guy using that yellow line. And I think he's a little bit tight. And using the paint, Dean, will help that car rotate. He is really wrapping a little bit of a diamond there in that 3 and 4, as you see him wash up just a little bit. But he is really wrapping that yellow line, and it's really helping him get a run on the bottom.
He continues to work over Claus Williams. They run side by side.
And this is so tough. It's hard to yellow flag.
Oh, and we got yellow. It's Greg Ratliff gone to the pits. So something happened with the 5 of Greg Ratliff. Let's get a look. The 5 comes underneath. That looks like maybe Rincon there. They come off the corner, and yeah, just tight area there. Looked like Rincon might have wobbled down a little bit. Hard to say.
Yeah, that's tight. I mean, I don't know. That's a racing deal in my book. I mean, it's tough to. I mean, Greg Ratliff, that engine's dead, so he is done for the night. That's tough.
Well, the one thing I did learn here, Jared, when I was dominating a race here one time and I killed myself on a lap car, was that if you're in a good shape in the race and you're on the low side, stay well low, because even though it's not your fault, someone can wobble on that high side pretty easily.
Absolutely, Dean, and that's why I said it's a racing deal in that circumstance, because Ratliff's trying to battle for position, right? But it's so tough because you're exactly right. You want to get that guy on the outside space, but at the same time, you want to run him tight to try to get a move on him.
There's no easy answers here at the Coliseum. I'll tell you, it'll reach out and bite you. It just did that. And now, pit stops here with 44 laps remaining. Reiner down into his stall safely. Wrecker got the number 1 stall. He should come out first. Reiner coming too late there. Or is it the yellow line? It might be Reiner if it's the yellow line. No, Wrecker beats him off of pit road. Reiner gave it his all there, Jared.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he didn't speed. He was very quick.
So one more time, we'll re-rack him here. And now Wrecker, as usually happens in these races, you want your first win, you got to earn it against the top dog.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, right? I mean, I think Wrecker's got a good chance here, but he didn't need to see that caution, right? I mean, I think this race could change pretty quickly, and that might be the change that he didn't want.
Well, he's got to get a great start, and he's got to hope A-Bear follows him underneath the 14 and gives him a little bit of trouble, and he can get away a little bit. That's the strategy I would promote. Get a great start. Pace car off here.
Green flag, green
Down
flag.
and away. It is a great start by the 11. A-Bear trying to get to the bottom and Reiner, but he can't quite get there, so Reiner's clear.
Well, Reiner might have got the wall off turn 2.
He may have. A little further back. Battles everywhere. Tony Ratliff with fresh rubber starting to look speedy again on that high side.
Oh, Tony Ratliff loose on the high side. Got almost Edward Kane and him almost came together. Everybody doing a great job, though.
And now he gets bottled in. Nowhere to go. Goes to the low side. While all that goes on up front, Wrecker doing a great job. Reiner in second, A-Bear third, Brantley into fourth. Here comes Claus Williams. He's good on fresh rubber.
Yeah, what Wrecker won?
Oh,
Brantley's
Brantley's
loose.
around!
Yellow flag.
Brantley has lost his machine down to the inside wall, the 3, and he's towed, Jared. Why? Why, I say?
I don't think he had any damage, Dean.
No, he could have
I
just
think
took
he-
it around to the pits, but out of frustration, he hit the tow button, And you see there the car unstable. He corrects but can't save it. The lazy spin, around it goes. Immediate tow. Bad decision in my personal opinion.
Wow. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. I mean, you're having a career race for you. A kind of race that you kind of look back and you're like, that's what turned my season around, gave me some confidence, moving forward. And it just kind of goes away in one instant.
So anybody coming in, doesn't look like it. Just Brantley's sitting there. Looks like Herb Ashley's going to be your lucky dog, perhaps, as he looks for room, but Joyner has him blocked temporarily. There he goes. So Herb Ashley get back on the lead lap. Good news for the 63. We got I Likes Fat Tuna out in the chat tonight. That's an interesting name, Jared.
I Likes Fat Tuna. I mean, that's a name.
I mean, might as well go all the way with your YouTube names.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a double meaning there.
Well, let's hope not. Let's not go there,
yeah,
Jared.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there.
Wrecker, Reiner, Abear, and Williams, Ottaviani, Tony Ratliff, Kane, Joyner, Beller, and Rincon, your top 10. We're down to 35 to go at the line. Jared, it's a good old-fashioned Bristol shootout now.
Yeah, I mean, 35 laps at Bristol is really equivalent to 17, 18 laps at a normal, mile and a half that we race at, right? So it's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. But can Adam Wrecker hold these guys off? What he needs to do, Dean, on these restarts is hold back and let Abear try to get underneath Bryce Reiner and kind of force that battle for second place upon Bryce Reiner. Instead, he's trying to jump out, which is fine, but it's not allowing Abear to sit there and be able to get underneath Reiner.
All right, pace car is off.
Green flag,
Again,
green flag.
Wrecker down and away. A great start. Reiner does another nice job. It's Claus Williams trying to get in there and push the issue on the high side. Can he stay on top of Abear? He does. Reiner also pushing up towards the front while that goes on.
Yeah, I think it's go time, right? I mean, this is go time for everybody involved in this race to get what they can get. As Williams around Abear.
Yeah, Williams flying. Tony Ratliff flying. They've taken to the high side. Reiner's got to be careful staying on the low side. Tony Ratliff loose there.
And what about Logan Joyner? He's been good on the short run. Fastest lap of the race, Adam Wrecker, 14.870. So Wrecker is trying to get going. Contact back further. Rincon and Ottaviani, everybody gets away cleanly, but Rincon bullies his way through for a position.
How about that? Adam Wrecker with the fastest lap of the race here on lap 170 or 169. Unbelievable. Here comes Claus Williams. He's looking on the high side of Reiner. He'll get there. This helps out Wrecker immensely.
It does, unless Everett Kane hard on the wall of turn 2. That's going to check everybody up, Rincon included. Oh, Williams is loose. Rex, and that's going to take out Abear and Greg Ratliff, or Tony Ratliff.
Oh, and Hunt gets nailed. Ashley gets nailed. Wow. Heartbreak at the front again. So Claus up here on the high side. He goes in, and that car just gives way. Down he comes, and he takes out, he hits Abear and Tony Ratliff. There's the carnage, the humanity, Jared.
Claus Williams done for the night. Unbelievable. That is so tough for a guy that might have thought he had an opportunity to get a win. But this is, I don't know which way this is working, but I don't think it's working in favor of Adam Wrecker because Ratliff and Abear did not come down pit road there. I don't know if pit road was opened, actually. But they have heavy damage on the front end. So this is going to be tough. I don't know, but I think if I'm Adam Recker, I'm starting to get a little uneasy about how this race is going.
Well, I mean, I love it if I'm Wrecker. Restarts are my deal, right? You're the leader. As Kane and Rincon come in from 6th and 7th, Jackson and the Toad Man follow them in. So we're going to have some fresher tires back there, which oddly enough might lead to another caution or two. Those fresh tires difficult to drive on for a lap or two. I like Wrecker here in this restart position. He's been the best car. He just set the fastest lap of the race. I like him to beat Reiner here.
It'll be tough, and and that's the thing is like when you get your wins, you tip your first win. You're typically having to beat somebody that's won before, right? Almost every time there's another winner in the field, and you have to earn these wins every time you're out here. And right now, you kind of look at this, and it's one of those situations where Adam Recker is going to have to earn this win. I'm surprised Bear and Ratliff did not take tires or come down pit road or something to check out that damage, Dean. I'm really surprised because they wadded into him pretty good. We do have 6 sets in the race, but I'm pretty sure we're well short of that.
So Kane came in the 21. He's first off of pit road. He'll come out in 11th with fresh rubber, about 20 lap fresh rubber to some, to others, maybe only 10 to a guy like Jacob Musial right in front of him. So watch out for Edward Kane and the guys back there. They might be able to make it up. I don't know. But Wrecker trying to hold off Reiner. Ratliff and Bear in row 2, Joyner and Otto Viani in row 3. It's Tom Ashley, Paul Travis, Herb Ashley, and Jacob Musial, your top 10.
Wrecker with 2 damaged cars behind him. Joyner, can he slide through here, put some pressure up there? We're about to find out.
Green.
Wrecker, another great start. Tony Ratliff underneath the Reiner.
Wow, Tony Ratliff got a absolutely crazy good start. The best I've seen from 3rd place tonight, and he's going to put a little pressure on Reiner. That's going to allow Wrecker to scoot out a little bit. Oh, Joyner going to try to stick his nose under there. Thought we were going to have 3 wide, but boy, that 6 machine is hurting, I think, Dean.
6 machine got stalled out in that one corner. He's fighting back. Here comes Bear on the high side. All along, Wrecker walking away just a little bit. Reiner sitting to chase him. Here comes Logan Joyner. Oh, and I hear tires spin. Musial around, spinning on the track. Rincon, Ashley, demolished. Rincon crab walking down the track. That thing is done. Let's get a replay on it here. Looks like Claus Williams and Reiner battling. Actually, I think I've gone too far back. This was an earlier wreck. Let's get a look at the Jacob Musial here. Here's Rincon right behind him. Rincon off the corner into him and pushes him into the wall. The 2 of them spin up the track. Heavy damage. Looks like Jackson got a piece of that as well. And he is demolished, is Jason Jackson.
Yeah, a lot of guys heavy damage. Rincon heavy damage. Musial heavy damage. A couple other drivers with some heavy damage there. I mean, Rincon was crab walking. I mean, Kane is now out of the race. Ottaviani also is called tonight. He got involved in that wreck. Actually, I don't know what happened to Ottaviani. I'm not sure. Oh, there was a secondary wreck, Dean, that we've missed. It is coming off turn 2. Ottaviani gets the wall and comes down in front of Paul K. Travis and just gets whacked into the wall, blown engine instantly. Paul K. heavy damage as well in there.
All right, we're looking at it now. There, oh, he does. He comes down into Paul K., sends Paul K. back up the track. Oh, and Kane, absolutely with the fresh rubber. That's why we don't pit there at a place like this. It's too dangerous. And Kane demolished. He gone to the garage. So carnage here tonight. Very surprising here tonight, Jared.
And this is so tough for Everett Kane. You know, he's going slow. You're kind of anticipating he's going to roll down the track, and Paul K didn't roll down the track. It looked like he was rolling, and then he locked up the brakes and nothing. I don't. Me personally, I would have probably stopped on the track, but I understand. I've been in those kind of situations in the past where things just happen a little bit quicker than you think they do on the replay. A tough break for Kane and Paul K there, and Ottaviani. 3 cars all in a secondary track out of the race.
And just by survival alone, you know, like you got Mickey Spear in the top 10 now. How about that? The 82 keeping a clean car and working his way into the top 10. We're about ready to go back to green flag racing. Pace car off. Wrecker looking for another great start. He does get it. Reiner a little slow on the high side. Hebert all over him. Reiner gets away though, and Hebert gets around Tony Ratliff. So Reiner trying to wrap the high side, 17 to go. Wrecker trying to hold on to the lead.
I think there's only about 4 or 5 cars, Dean, that are running at 100% right now. Wrecker being one of them. Eric Beller, I don't think he has any damage tonight. But everybody else, I think, is amending a wounded vehicle here.
Joyner loose. Reiner got loose. And they're trying to hang on to it all along. Wrecker looking solid out front. If Reiner gets up there, though, Wrecker might have to move up the track. It may never happen. Hebert closing back in on Reiner.
Reiner really wrapping the high side, almost taking the paint off the car.
Yeah, he's given up on it, Jared. He's seen Hebert coming. He went to protect that bottom. Back to the high side he goes, though. Wrecker is absolutely getting away.
Yeah, this field is broken into 2 packs of cars. The top 6 are on your screen, and then 7th and the rest of the field and the lap cars are kind of at the bottom. As Hebert goes underneath of Reiner at the same time. Logan Joyner with a big move. Tony Ratliff threw a huge block there, and my goodness, we almost had a big wreck there.
Crazy, but James Hebert driving right around Reiner. Better low and better high was Hebert, so good job by him. Behind him, Tony Ratliff, Logan Joyner starting to fight here. Joyner takes to the high side, cuts her low.
Todd Gilly gets around Herb Ashley. That's a battle for 7th. Move him up.
Beller all alone in 6th. Back to the Joyner, Tony Ratliff battle here. Joyner looking for room. He's almost lost it on entry there. In the center, he almost lost it. Wow, that car is unstable, Jared.
Yeah, I think Wrecker right now, I think he wants this thing to stay green. Trying to grab his first ever win in RGR after so many second places, Dean.
Yeah, amazing to see him. The Columbia machine leading. He goes down the backstretch, come to the start finish. It'll be 6 to go for the 11. Hebert trying to run him down. Matching lap times. Their top 3 running identical lap times last time by.
A couple weeks ago, Wrecker finished 2nd at Darlington. We talked to him. Can you get your first career win, Dean? And he said, I think I have a chance at some point this year. And tonight could be that time with 5 to go. He's finished 2nd at Richmond, Nashville, and Indy. But can he make it to the top step here at the last Great Coliseum?
Joyner and Ratliff starting to go at it, and they have caught up to Reiner. Reiner's struggling with that machine right now. Joyner to the high side. He's going to try and filter in above Tony Ratliff and steal that spot. I think he will. So put Logan Joyner up to 4th now.
That's the battle right there. The last podium step, Dean. It's really between Reiner, Joyner, Tony Ratliff, and Beller. The top 2 have gotten away. Can Hebert make something happen with 2 laps to go? I don't think he can, Dean, unless there's a caution.
Yeah, not looking good, but Joyner looking racy. Reiner gets the wall. Joyner down low. Reiner high, Joyner low. Reiner has a good corner, holds him off. White flag is out. The 11, the Columbia machine, Adam Recker, looking for his first ever win here at RGR Racing. He'll come out of 4 and he'll get her done. It's Adam Recker winning the Bristol 200.
And right at the line, Bryce Reiner holds off Logan Joyner for third. Beller will grab fifth over Tony Ratliff at the line. That was a dead heat according to our timing and scoring. Then Tom Ashley, actually, I don't know what happened. Tony Ratliff is actually not being scored.
He's
Dean, so
currently
he is
in
dropped.
8th on my scoring. So something happened to Tony for sure. But burning it down, the 11, Jared. I mean, how good does it feel to break through and grab a win? I mean, there's nothing like your first one, is there?
No, I mean, and we talked about last year. I mean, he finished in third in points. He was the highest guy in points without a win. And you know, it's got to feel good. You know, he has the talent. We've talked about it all year. We talked about it last year when we covered that series. And to get it done at one of the toughest tracks, it was a little bit of a race of attrition. But he still maintained in this race. Even if it was a little bit of attrition, Dean, he still maintained, and he showed that he was one of the best cars to beat.
Yeah, he really did. It was an awesome job. Right now, let's take a short commercial break. We'll come back. We'll get some race interviews in. All right, back here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Adam Recker, the man of the hour, grabbing his first ever win. It was quite a race, Jared. These cars were a handful. We watched everybody fight them on different occasions, and the war of attrition, something Recker was never involved with.
No, I think he might have been the only guy, Dean, that got out of this race without any incident, really. And you look at it, in fact, he was the only guy that had 0 incidents. Brantley had 2 with that self-spin there. But, man, it was such a tough race for everybody here tonight. But at the end of the day, Adam Recker, a popular driver in the league, well-respected within the league. A lot of guys rooting for him to get his first career win, and he gets it done at one of the toughest racetracks. I mean, that is something you will never forget. And it opens the floodgates oftentimes, Dean, for more good runs.
Well, that's what I'm interested to see, right? Once you break through, your confidence goes through the roof. He had to beat the best, right? Reiner's acknowledged that's the best right now. He cleanly beat him. He's got to be riding high on that confidence as we look in on the race results here. You can see some surprising finishes here, and I don't mean that in any way other than they weren't there earlier in the race, like Beller finishing in 5th. My goodness, I mean, I don't think we really called on him tonight, Jared. There he is in 5th. You got Tom Ashley 6th, Gilly in 7th. Tony Ratliff slips. Mickey Spear ends up in 9th. Herb Ashley 10th. Brantley 11th, Travis, Jackson, Ottaviani, Musial, Rincon. As we get down to guys who had some issues, we've seen Kane with that late incident there, and a little further back, early incidents, Royce Valley, Jason Spear, Torgensen there, LaPrime, Bruce, Greg Ratliff, some big names there at the bottom, Jared.
Yeah, just tough race. I mean, you know, we saw it. I mean, a lot of guys involved in wrecks outside their doing. A lot of guys had problems, you know, holding on to the car. Maybe the setup went away, maybe some damage, but what a tough night for a lot of guys. But
yeah, it certainly was. And right now we're going to talk to someone who, I don't know, he might consider tonight a rough night, finishing 3rd place. It's the 14, Mr. Bryce Reiner. Congrats on 3rd place, Bryce.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. It was hard fought for sure, but glad to come home with a P3. salvage something.
Well, you were trying hard, Bryce. You had to feel good about your chances getting up in there to second and third place on these restarts at the end. But man, it just looked like that car was just too much of a handful, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I know we ran here before, and I had a really good grip on the car, and we ran long runs. But I don't know what it was. I know qualifying wasn't my greatest effort. I guess, the bottom line was the qualifying line, and I chose the top, so I was a little far off from there. But yeah, I knew the bottom lane or the middle lane would save a lot more tire. Um, and I did that, and I was gaining before that, like that first long run that we had. But then, calamity strikes, and unfortunately, I get caught up in two things. But
Well, don't
nothing I
bring
could
up my
do.
ex-girlfriend, Calamity Jane, there, Bryce. But no, I noticed earlier in the race you came in and pitted virtually alone from the leaders. Put yourself at the back of the pack, somewhere around 18th position. Were you concerned when nobody else came in that you were like, oh boy, I'm back? This is a long slug from back here.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, when it comes to pitting like that, and you're at a short track like Bristol, you're either gonna hope for a long run and you have 30 lap extra tires on your, or 30 lap extra life on your tires, or it's gonna go cautions and you're just gonna have to really rip your tires to try to gain that track position that you lost. And that's what I ended up doing. I don't know. I just couldn't get a grip on this track tonight. I I don't know what it was.
Yeah, well, it was tough for everybody, Bryce. I mean, the only guy we really seen not have too much problems was Wrecker out there. How tough was it trying to chase him down? And are you happy? I mean, his first ever win here at RGR.
Yeah, no, that's awesome for Adam. I know he's been running these for things for a while, and he's come close many, many times. Uh, but nothing beats clean air and having free roam of the whole track. That's what's very, um, I don't know. That's the best way to go in Bristol. Get the lead, keep it, and try not to look back, and save tires while you're at it. He did a phenomenal job tonight.
Clean air is king, no doubt, Bryce, and you're still
Exactly.
the king of the series here, a points lead, and I'm sure you'll be back in victory lane in no time. But great race here, entertaining there, watching you try and push that car at the end and then not lose it. So great job of grabbing third place, man, and we'll turn it over to you. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys, up in the booth. You guys do a phenomenal job each and every week covering these races for the fans. I definitely was wrecking loose for sure. I don't know what it was. I probably pushed too hard on the top, but I was losing it every other corner. So too much truck racing this week, but try to tone it back in the Xfinity car. But we'll move on in the next week. Congrats again to Adam. What a phenomenal race he did tonight. Led most of, I think, every lap, which is awesome. Good first win for him. James, again, me and him had a battle all race long, pretty much. Admins too, they do a heck of a job, and we're trying to keep these clean. But there are times or tracks that can't happen, but we're working through that. Thanks to Team Conti Digital Sim Sports, Martin PC, everybody who helps out and works with me.
All right, Jared, that's Bryce Reiner, third place finish here this evening.
Yeah, and I'm down here, Dean, with our runner-up and current second place guy in points, James A. Baird. James, what a race tonight. You had to go through it to get to second place, but you got it done.
Yeah, man, it was a tough race tonight. I mean, first of all, huge congratulations to Adam. He put on a heck of a race tonight. Definitely dominant car for sure. Yeah, I mean, just doing my best with what I was given tonight. Felt like the car was pretty good. It felt great in the track for me. Just trying to manage my equipment I was hoping to get a long run there, but it just didn't seem like it was to be tonight, unfortunately. But yeah, it's good run. P2 always stings when you want that P1, but yeah, I'll still take a P2. It was a good finish tonight. Good run.
Well, what else did you need tonight, James, to get up there and compete? I mean, it looked like you had the speed, and it also looked like if there was some trouble on the racetrack, it seemed like it found you a little bit easier than some of the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Claus who spun in front of me. There's just nothing you can do in that instance. It is what it is. Thankfully, the car wasn't damaged too terribly bad. But I just need a little more time. I just need those long runs. My car was better on the long run than the short run. And yeah, that's just all I needed. Just more time tonight.
Well, I want to, ask you the last thing. It seemed like we saw a lot of guys. You referred to Klaus there getting loose in front of you. How was the setup tonight? It seemed like some guys were really good. We saw some guys that haven't had good runs, up inside the top 10 tonight, up inside the top 5 even. And it seemed like some guys that, are contenders, they were struggling on the setup. Was it a difficult setup? Was it just something different than you guys are expecting?
I would say no. The setup for me was really good. I think it's just people trying to get a little bit too much out of the car, and then they're burning the stuff up, because as soon as you start heating that right rear up, that's what was causing a lot of these problems tonight. You had to be very patient on the throttle tonight. Couldn't get in it too quick, and you really had to let that car roll center, and just let it roll, let it turn, and then slowly ease into it. So that's what I felt tonight. That's how I feel the car handled tonight myself. So.
Well, that's a lot of good information there, James, and a great run for you. You closed the point gap just a little bit on Bryce Reiner, but great run here tonight in second place. And I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you have the final word on your race here this evening.
Yeah, first of all, huge thanks to Todd putting this lead together as always, and all the admin who put this together. Big thanks to Alive Church for sponsoring this series and keeping us on TV. And for Thursday, East Coast Wet Burners. Always appreciate their support. We could not do this without them. So huge thanks to those guys.
All right, Dean, that was our runner-up here tonight. In second place in point man, James Hebert.
Yeah, fellow Canadian, I got to throw in there as well. Almost got to sing "Oh Canada" tonight, but not quite. As we turn our attention to the victor, the first time ever, Adam Recker down in Victory Lane. Congratulations, Adam.
Thanks, Dean. It's been a long time coming for sure.
Man, oh man, has it? I mean, you've been riding around the top 3, it seems like forever, and now you get in Victory Lane, and not only that, you do it against some of the best here. I mean, Reiner's up there on all these restarts. You had to be on your P's and Q's. What were you thinking, Adam?
Every restart, I was trying to do something different. I was trying to go in the middle of the restart zone or right at the beginning. So I was trying to mix it up a lot, and I was just trying to wrap the bottom. That's where I was the fastest, and just hit my marks, basically.
Were you concerned there that last run? I seen Reiner take to the high side. He got second fairly quickly. He takes to the high side. You're wrapping the bottom, and for a couple laps, looked like he was starting to close in. Were you starting to get concerned and think, damn, maybe I got to move up the track here?
Absolutely. I was every time Bryce is behind you. I mean, Bryce is a really good driver. He's super quick. Anytime, even like Claus in the beginning, that you get a good run off the high side, but I think it wears the tires too much. But I don't know what happened to Bryce. I guess he was getting a little loose in the corner there, so I was able to pull away. But yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking with all those cautions at the end of the race.
Well, I think you were doing to him what he's done to so many others. You were forcing him to overdrive the machine at him. That car, we looked at it, that beautiful Columbia machine, not a scratch on it that we could see. So all night long, I mean, clean air is king, we know this, but how was the car feeling out here on what was a difficult night for many?
The car felt pretty good, actually. I mean, even on a long run there when we ran, I don't know, 50, 60 laps, I think I was still pulling away from everybody. I just kept saving my tires around the bottom. I mean, wasn't really getting loose off the corner. Just using a little bit of brake getting in, but just letting it roll through the center.
You know, earlier on in the race, we had, I believe, Logan Joyner, if I'm not mistaken. He's up there racing pretty hard. You kind of let him go, or he passes you, however you want to say it. Were you concerned at that point, or were you thinking, hey, we'll see you in 10 laps?
Um, yeah, just let him go. I mean, running the high side is probably faster, but you just burn your tires up a little more. Same thing when I was running Kloss. We were side by side for a couple of laps, and he eventually passed me, but I started catching him as we went like 20 laps into the run there. I mean, it's fast, but you gotta with our races, we run fairly mostly like longer runs, so you gotta conserve your tires.
Well, you did an awesome job of doing just that. Now, the last question for you were the pit stops and decisions. Were you concerned at some point, like some guys pitting and getting fresher tires, that as this went on, were you thinking, man, I don't even know how old my tires are at this point?
Yeah, I was concerned when we kept getting those cautions at the end. I was a little nervous that Bryce was gonna pit and everybody else was gonna follow him, and I'd just kind of be the oddball out. Um, I think at one point I asked Eric Whiting, is like, how many cars were on the lead lap? And he said 16. So if he would have pitted there, I mean, he could have would have been in the back. But you never know with Bryce. He's super quick, like I said, and with tires are key. I mean, new tires, you can get through the field pretty quickly.
Well, it all fell your way, Adam. You made all the right calls on the track. You run the right line. You had the pole and the track position. You made the right calls about not pitting. And here you are. Victory number one, man. One you'll never forget. Big congratulations, Adam. I'm very happy for you, as I'm sure many are. And we'll turn it over to you, brother. Virtually anything you want to say and anybody you want to shout out or thank.
Yeah, thanks, Dean. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, thanks to you guys. I mean, you guys put on a great show every week. It's not easy. I mean, it's hard because with all the cautions, kind of gets a little boring. But no, thanks to you guys. Thanks to Todd, everybody in the league. Todd does a great job. It's hard running the league. It's got to make a lot of got to get everybody on the same page and all that. But no, it's I don't know. I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. But no,
Think,
thanks
think
to East Coast.
champagne, Adam.
Yeah.
Champagne.
No, thanks to East Live Church, East Coast Web Printing. They I know they sponsor us for both leagues. They do a good job. But everybody, I appreciate everybody in the league. Everybody runs me clean, which is nice, and I try to repay the favor.
All right, Jared. A happy Adam Wrecker in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, well deserved win, a very popular win. A lot of congratulations going on from, Facebook and YouTube world, and even in the Discord over here, Dean. So great win for him, and hopefully, it kind of sees where it goes, right? I mean, I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think he can start clicking off some more wins as the season goes on.
Oh, there's no doubt. He's in that bucket of cars that can win on any night, and here he's finally taken it home. Super exciting to see. Of course, we'll get back to all the action each and every Sunday, 9:10 p.m. It's the Alive Church Xfinity Series. Live fully alive. But here from Bristol Motor Speedway, that's about it. And we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.